Hey guys, this is Grayson or Goldenglue. I am the head coach for 100 Thieves League of Legends, and I'm joined by our positional top lane coach, Niship Dhokla. Welcome. Hello.
Hello. For those of you who don't know, I've been playing pro for about 8 years. Bounced around between Optic, TSM, Team Liquid. Uh, Went down to like amateur, back to CLG, and then NRG, and now I ended up here coaching for 100 Thieves. So quite the journey.
Yeah, so I guess talk about that journey a little bit. Obviously, you played a lot, and this is going to be your first time coaching. What made you want to join our team and kind of accept that offer as a coach, and what are you looking forward to in that role?
I think what interested me most in coaching is just the opportunity. Like I've been a player the whole time, and just to be on the other side of that and try to give feedback and see how it's received, and really implement my ideas on how I view the game towards Sniper, and just see him improve is something I want to try. Obviously, you've been coaching for a while, and you've been a player as well, so just knowing you made the decision to come here a lot easier. So. Yeah, just the other aspects, and it's a job.
Yeah.
Need the job.
Hello, hello. This is Sedona. She will be walking around in the shot. She's the dog. I'm dog sitting and kind of co-parenting to some degree. But she's a cutie. Say hello. Say hello, Sedona.
She guards the practice room.
She does guard. If you come into the practice room, she will bark at you.
Yeah.
She guards the
Very,
sacred room.
very defensive.
Yeah, she's a cutie. She's a cutie. Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I've been in the same shoes before, where I played for a long time, and now I've been coaching for a while. I always think it's funny. I always think it's funny when a lot of the initial reactions to players as coaches, whenever you're watching the game, but you've now lost so much agency and control when you're watching, and there's nothing to do but like spectate
Yeah.
during the live actual matches.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can implement feedback in between the games, but you're like, sometimes it feels like you're watching a train wreck about to happen.
Yeah.
So like, I guess talk to me. How did that feel like your very first week versus Team Liquid?
It was mixed emotions because there was good plays that we did where it's like you see what you practice and you see it in action, and you're like, wow, that feels really good. Like he's improving on what we talked about, and then you see still plays that can be improved upon where we went over in practice, not implemented. So there's both sides to like, you want perfection in like the games, but it's definitely a roller coaster of emotion to see like the ups and downs of just how the team is going when you're not in there, like, and you have no control.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just getting ready to like sit along for the ride, and just it's just a lot of emotion throughout
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of players strive for perfectionism,
Yeah.
and once you like sit back and you're a coach and you realize like how far away you are
Yeah,
from perfectionism, it's like,
yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's like
damn.
from the outside, it's like it's so obvious. Why are we doing this? And then in the game, it's obviously you can't see everything.
Yeah.
So it's understandable why mistakes happen, but
Yeah.
you obviously want to clean those up. Yeah.
I mean, I think you've seen this trend over the past 5 to like, I don't know, 10 years, that like a lot of the initial coaches in the scene, and not just in league but across sports, were like maybe players who were like amateurs or players who like wanted to be pro but like maybe were not good enough, and then ended up like managing and then coaching for teams. And now you see it's a lot of ex-pros. Like a lot of the top teams, at least in the LTA North, and honestly across the world, across all the regions, a lot of the coaches are ex-pro players. How do you feel like the difference between being coached, because you've also been coached by ex-pro players, versus people who have not played competitively? Like, could you feel a difference when you're getting coached by them?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just the respect you have, like, unconsciously for them, because when you are receiving feedback from them, you just know that, like, they've also been in your shoes and they know the game to a very high level. So you have a sense of, like, gained respect in that sense. So that's the biggest difference to me. And when it's not a professional coach, usually or like an ex-player, usually they have better, like, interpersonal relationships between like how to manage people.
Yeah.
And that's the big difference, because pro players majority of the time will not have that level of like social awareness. Given how you become pro is very like a isolating way to go about your life. So just the differences in between that. Obviously, if there's like a perfect mix between those two, I think it's the best. But that's the biggest differences for me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when you said that, I feel like there was a trend in a while where I was like, what, TSM brought in like the baseball coach or whatever, and they're like, this guy's gonna be the vibes guy for the team, and then like the vibes guy just doesn't fucking know what the hell he's talking about.
Guys, we just need to do better. Just trust each other. Like,
yeah,
they just give you buzzwords, and it doesn't really mean anything. And you're like, what is the guy saying? Yeah. So
I mean, I feel like ideally, you do have some kind of like mix or hybrid, someone who can kind of do both, and I think that, at least for me, I always feel like it's a bit easier for me to like view the perspective of the player I'm coaching rather than like kind of just like I can feel like if I was in their shoes, what I'm stressed about, what I'm worrying about, and also just like what I'm thinking about in the game versus if you haven't played at that level, you don't really understand like the stress that they're under, and you don't really understand like already there's like so many things that they're thinking about that you have to kind of find like the easy wins to help upgrade their game rather than like completely, I don't know, changing the way they think about it.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, I guess, so you've been coaching Sniper for a few weeks now. I mean, how do you feel like fundamentally, like your play styles were, like his play style was different from how your play style was in the game? And like, I mean, how do you feel like you've been kind of maybe trying to like merge the two?
Yeah, so Sniper, when I first came in and saw him play. So some context, I played against him in LCS for a while when he came into the league. So I know the feeling I have like playing against him. I think he's a good mechanical top laner. Like, but then on the other side, when I'm watching him play, it looks like chaos in the process of how it's going down, and I'm just here to try to bring some organization into that chaos because. The way I was a pro, when I was a pro, was I'd be very like methodical in the way I'm doing things, so I can repeat them again and again. And I need to try and instill that into Sniper, so he's able to just gain those habits and just repeat good plays again and again. Whereas right now it's up in the air whether something goes good or not, and I don't have a high sense of confidence in it always working out, which is something you want as a coach.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Snipes is a bit of a vibes guy too. Like he's kind of like just kind of goes off his gut and it's just like it works. It works. Sometimes it doesn't.
I'm going in, and if it works, it looks insane, and if it doesn't, it's like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
So those plays I don't really like as a player or as a coach, especially as a coach, because you want like a good setup, ideally before that, and then you want to know like all your conditions. So it's just a little bit chaotic. Okay, Grayson, so 100 Thieves used to be known for their chaotic team fight that always brought them back into the game. So what happened to that?
I mean, honestly, in our match versus Team Liquid, I think we underperformed pretty heavily in a lot of aspects. I think that, like, in game one, we were in a pretty good spot in the game, and kind of we were pressuring each other to engage and make plays, and we also just didn't individually see the angles to, like, start the fight. And it kind of snowballed into us like forcing fights that were not good, angles that weren't there, lose, and then Team Liquid kind of just snowballed on us. And I think in game two was pretty just like, I don't know, I feel like they were pretty rattled after game one because there's some situations from Team Liquid that was just like completely illegal.
Yeah.
Like 2 times on the Grubs and the Rift Herald fights, like we essentially had number advantage fights, but we were just indecisive, and we just got hard punished for it. So it's pretty disappointing. I still think we are struggling with our team fights, and it's something we're focusing a lot this week in practice. But I do feel like the champions, like we tried playing like a Scion and like a front-to-back team fight comp, and I never feel like that was our playstyle team fight comp. We had more like success on when like Quid's diving in with a Kali, or we're playing like Kaiza. Also just like we typically were better like dive comp team rather than the front to back. So I think we still have a lot of work to do on like front to back comps.
Yeah, so the meta shifting definitely factors into
Yeah.
that. Yeah, because Hundred Thieves definitely made some magic happen.
Yeah.
When they're just behind, they just fight, and yeah, it's just pull a rabbit out of the hat and come
That's
back
what we're
into the
known
games.
for.
Yeah,
That's what we're
I
known
mean,
for.
I was here like, where's the magic at, you know? And then, yeah, we're still we're getting
trying
the
to find
formula.
it.
We're getting the formula for the magic.
I feel like the only positive takeaways we could have from our match from Team Liquid is like it's just a serious wake up call. I mean, we've been night blocking and doing basically extra practice now every day. I thought we had a pretty decent week of practice before our match, but we're all just doubling down and we're bought into doubling down because we just need to be better and there's not much time. So I think that would be it.
So I spoke about habits and how you want to iron those out and always be following a process. But in terms of the unspoken part of being a pro is also the mentality that you have going into game and just how you carry out like throughout the season through scrims and all the ups and downs of that. So what do you think is a hallmark of a good mentality as a pro?
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting question. I think that like a player's mentality at the end of the day is like a sum of all their life experiences, right?
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
it kind of is like them as a person, how they're going to approach the game, how they're going to approach competition, how they're going to approach conflict. And so, I mean, in a lot of ways, it's not something that like you can really replicate. Everyone's mentality is like a little bit different, but I think some things that you have to iron out is like resiliency, because you're gonna be
yeah.
taking a lot of L's.
Oh yeah, you have to know how to cope with the
with
tough times. Yeah.
with losses, with playing bad, with your teammates playing bad. I always feel like when I think about mentality, I always just think about resilience, because it's just like how much can you endure and keep up like a positive attitude and mindset. And I think that really, I don't know, dictates how good of a mentality you can have. Obviously, there's other things like being charismatic and funny, and like that can help bring up the mood. I think there's other things like just being really disciplined and hardworking, and like showing your, I guess your mettle through your work, and showing your teammates you're just grinding and being high LP. I think it's one of those things where you kind of have to like self-reflect and see what your strengths are and make sure you're like maximizing that. Whether like you're going to be the person lifting each other
Yeah.
up, or you're going to be the person who's just going to be hard carrying and you're going to hold yourself to a really high standard. There's like a lot of ways to go about it. But I'm sure like now that you're, even more so now that you're like outside and coaching, you can see how much like a mentality affects, one player's mentality affects the whole team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I struggled with just coping with like wins and losses, and it would really hit my confidence. And that just stems from like being immature, or maybe not immature, but not mature, or like not have enough experience in like how competition is and the ups and downs. And just building that foundation as a player is going to be for sure just as important, I think, as like just your skill, because it gets you like how do you improve essentially from every loss. Like if you have a good way of thinking about losing, then you can actually learn a lot from losses instead of just being frustrated all the time, and just being not in like a never-ending loop of like negativity with yourself. And yeah, it definitely can see how like some of those happen in Sniper, and it's my job to really give him advice in that and break him out of it, and you know, show him what worked for me, and maybe it can work for him as well, but just give him some experience in that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably actually the most satisfying thing about coaching in general, is just like helping people with their mentalities and attitudes, and like trying to help them find breakthroughs. And especially with like younger players like Sniper, like they're more malleable, so you're like literally teaching them how to think about situations.
Yeah.
And I think that's like pretty meaningful in terms of you're just like helping them solve issues that you've dealt with in the past, and now you're kind of just like giving them your rubric to work with it.
Yeah, I still don't know how to cope after losing a cannon minion, though. I don't know if I can help him with that. I don't know.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame. All right, so switching gears a little bit, something I wanted to bring up is just, it's kind of an unfortunate thing, but like the lack of a crowd at LTA these days. I mean, you've seen it. We've been around for a while. We played when, you know, there would be packed every weekend. And even back when I was playing and it was an unpopular match, there was still some fans in the crowd. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't like dead. And now, like since I've been coaching, maybe me coaching is the problem. Like there's just no one there.
Yeah, I mean, I vividly remember just a random regular season game where we beat TSM, and when I took the headset off, it was just so loud,
Yeah.
and that was just a regular season game. You know, I'm just sad for the players that won't get to experience
Yeah.
that because it's such an exhilarating feeling. And you feel your heart pumping, and you feel the crowd in the headset, like just after you like make a great play. Obviously, the times are just different, but yeah, I definitely miss those times.
Yeah, I mean, like it kind of reminds me of this like this book I read. I think it was called Want, and basically it was just like one of the points of the book was that like people want what other people want, and the fact that it felt like back then, like everyone just cared so much, the crowds, the community, the fans, and now it's like, well, like we care, obviously, we still care a lot, but there's a lot less like external forces.
Yeah.
Like I'm used to getting my death threats if I play a bad game in my DMs, like expecting that, and now it's like, oh, we lost, like, well, time to go home, guys. Like, no, we're not gonna get. I'm not, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like the same level of like public shame that you used to feel. And I don't know. Like I do wonder how that feels like competing, because I think maybe if you're a player who like already put so much pressure on yourself, like maybe there's a world where that actually like helps you perform better. But I think the high, like the emotional high, or just the whole like the feeling of winning, it's just got to be less dopamine.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was like, one of my goals before I even went pro is like when I was just watching, it's like how sick would it be to play in front of a crowd, like a stadium, and the fact that I got to do that was like insane. And
Yeah.
just there's not really stadiums anymore unless you're at like Worlds, so we got to go to Worlds. But on a side note, it's just
Even when we went to Worlds, we were playing in the LEC.
yeah, actually in
studio.
Korea they smashed us into like some gymnasium until we got to quarterfinals, and then it was like a pretty big stadium, but then we had a low turnout since we were like the least hype game. It wasn't D1 in Korea, so
You're not
still
Faker,
can't
bro.
complain. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's definitely the biggest like downside for me. It's just the audience, and it made it feel like you're like a gladiator. You know, you're going into like this arena.
Man in the arena.
Everyone knows who you are, the story of the split. And,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's sad the way it is now. I think there's a lot of blame to be passed around, but and I'm not sure how to get it back. How do we get the magic back? How do we get the team fight magic back, and how do we get the fan magic back?
We need to like give out free Labubu's or something at the fucking LTA. I don't know. I will shout out to like the few fans who are still coming. We appreciate you. There's still a couple out there. We need you, but yeah.
Let's start a pyramid scheme. Let's just
Pyramid scheme?
have your fans get 5
I've got
fans,
a referral code for you.
and then those fans get another fans. Like we could bring it back.
I like the idea of a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
So I mean, speaking of like stadiums, what was the like coolest, best like stadium experience you had playing?
Definitely. Well, I only played in one stadium, but
Yeah.
it was pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, you only need
Sorry,
one.
sorry,
You only
Gracie.
need one.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I'm not greedy. I'll take one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the Prudential Center in New Jersey.
Oh, sick.
Worlds was pretty hyped too, but I think just the crowd, just because to me it means more to win like NA in the sense of like we actually won the full season.
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
Worlds where it's like, yeah, we won, but like
Yeah.
in reality we didn't win shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like-
yeah.
it's nice, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think that one was.
I mean,
really
that's
nice.
sick. For me, I only have two like very memorable ones, and the first one was really weird because it was actually a challenger tournament in
Yeah.
like 15, but they flew us out to Wembley, and Wembley was Wembley Arena, and it was packed because also LAC was playing too at the same time, and I remember that series like I popped off, and that felt really good.
Yeah.
I went like. Yeah, I played like Ziggs and LeBlanc, and it was a good time. But then my next one, I played at Oracle, and that was we want to forget that one. I mean, it was cool playing there, but like I got solo killed level 2 by like like pole belter Irelia,
Oh,
and it was just
man.
like, it was super OP Irelia at the time. It was like the 4-stack Q. I played Malzahar. I played it versus Bjergsen and Simmies, and I like got through lane phase, and pole belter just went ignite and killed me level 2.
Yeah.
Just pressed Q, Q, Q. I was like, oh, I guess I'm dead.
Man.
And Impact owned me with his Scion. But I mean, it's still like the nerves and just like the energy around
Yeah, but how-
going
yeah, the
to and
energy,
like playing,
yeah.
like going backstage, you like sit, like it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what you compete for, just like that type of environment. At least I did. It's like that's really the motivation.
Dude, isn't it crazy to think like Faker just played in arenas
Dude,
like
does
that?
this
like,
guy just not get
like-
faith at all? He's like,
yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it's his
I know you're all
38th
here
time.
for me. The intros is always hyped.
It's
the most
him.
hype around him. Like
Yeah, he's
at
on a
World Fi-
fucking trophy
At
case.
World
like,
Finals, they had him introduced last, and he's just aura farming. Like
Yeah.
it's so loud.
no, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy. How many experiences of that he's got.
he's like, oh, I gotta go again.
Dude, it's like the guy who just eats like Michelin 3-star meals every meal. Is like, fuck, like
they had the
this shit
T1
again,
home
like,
stadium too. He just can't stop.
just anywhere he goes. Bro.
Yeah.
See
Crazy.
that he signed till like 2029 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
2029.
yeah, Faker will be still playing LCK when the LCS burning LTA North building is fucking burned to the ground. Like he'll just be holding it up.
all roads lead to him.
All roads lead to him. We need financial help from Faker. Faker's soon gonna be funding the LT, like all the.
I love this game too much to see it die.
Holy shit, that'd be crazy. The new
He
fucking
just
commissioner.
donates. He just
of
donates
LCS.
T1's fans. Like guys, support him. It's
He's
like,
the
it's
worldwide
just a
commissioner
profit.
for
Yeah.
all of the. Yeah, so we play against FlyQuest this weekend. I think Riot's really cooked with this format where we're basically being punished for being the best team that had a losing match last week. So we have to play the best team, and FlyQuest is obviously extremely strong. But I'm still excited to fight them and see if we can give them a tough match.
You get punished for doing better, like based on your seeding from last split. So if you're the best of the worst, then you're actually in the worst position.
Yeah.
So interesting format for sure.
They're
I mean,
cooking over there. for
Riot's
sure.
had some interesting formats with VCT, where it's like 100 Thieves played like one match in like 10 months or something. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's another Riot special.
Yeah, so we've got a tough match, and we only get to play like a few matches before playoffs starts. So every match is super important for seeding into playoffs and trying to get double elim. Yeah, I mean, obviously we want to win versus FlyQuest, but I think it still would be a success if we just really gave them a tough battle, made them bleed, and made them work for it. And I want to make sure that we're not just falling over after one mistake, which is honestly one of the hardest things for our teams, because I think we really have we do a really bad job of kind of like
Stop the bleeding.
stopping the bleeding when we're behind, and we do want to like play chaotic when we're behind, which sometimes it can work, but you can just go about it in more calculated and methodical ways. Well, I think that's about it for us. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this was enjoyable and informative for you guys, and we'll see you this weekend against FlyQuest.
See ya.